Hey there everyone, welcome to iDation HQ, your one-stop channel for the latest news in regards to digital learning technologies. In today's episode, we will be looking at how you can control your students' iPad individually in your class using the app Apple Classroom. As you recall from our previous tutorial, I shared with you on how you can use certain commands and features to control all the apps in the classroom. However, there may be a situation where you want to control your student's iPad individually. Say for example, if you have a student that is away in the previous lesson and this student will be required to do some catch-up work. Now in this case here, this student may be required to work on a different task as compared to the rest of the class. And this is where controlling individual students' iPad will be very useful. Let's have a look at how this can be done. So here in Apple Classroom, I've set up a class with 4 students, student A, B, C, and student D. So here we have a situation where I want all the students to be focused on Google Classroom for today's lesson activity. And student A, who happened to be away in our previous lesson, is going to be working on a task on Shobi. So in order for us to actually facilitate that here in Apple Classroom, I'm first going to focus all students on Google Classroom by clicking on the open feature here, which is at the main toolbar. And here I'm going to send all the students to Google Classroom first. Now I'm going to enable this feature, which is to lock the app after opening, and I'm going to send all students to Google Classroom. As you can see now, all the students are now focused on Google Classroom. Now, student A was absent in the previous lesson and I would like him to catch up on some work. So let's click on his thumbnail. This will open up another window with similar features from the top toolbar that you've seen earlier. Now, the only difference is that any command which I pick here and I choose here is going to be applied to student A iPad only. So in this case here, if I would like to send student A to Shobi, I'm going to click on Open. And I'm now going to click on the Shobi app for student A. At one glance, I'm able to now see student A here being focused on Shobi, and the rest of the class, which is student B, C, and D, are now working on the task that has been set for them for this particular lesson. There are many other features which I can use to control the iPads individually. Let's click on student A again, and in this situation, let's send student A to a website. And in this case here, I am going to send him to the Apple website. And now you'll be able to see that student A has been sent to a website, whereas student B and C are still focused on Google Classroom. Right. Let's now click on student A again. And say, for example, you would like to see what student A is actually working on his iPad. The thumbnail that you see in the main screen may be a bit too small and you would like to see student A's screen in a much more larger view. So let's click on View Screen feature. And here you can see what's going on with student A iPad. As a teacher, you can take advantage of this view screen feature. If you are projecting your iPad on the screen, you can take advantage of this feature by sharing students A work with the rest of the class. Now, in a situation where you want student A to showcase his work to the rest of the class and maybe work out a mathematical problem, you can use the view screen feature to share his iPad screen with the rest of the class. You may want student A to work out and share with the class what is 400 divided by 5. So this can be done live in class with student A working out the solution in class. For the whole class to see. A good way for you to make your students' learning visible. Moving on, the hide feature will bring student A iPad back to the home screen. And The lock feature will individually lock student A's iPad. Next, the mute button will allow you to mute student A's iPad. The next feature will allow you to individually AirPlay student's iPad onto any Apple TV that is available. And lastly, you can also remove student A from your class by clicking on the remove icon. So in today's episode, we had a look at how we can control students' iPad individually by clicking on the thumbnail for each student and then choosing the appropriate action that is required. This will allow us to manage teaching and learning activities effectively, as well as manage possible behavior issues in the class. With this, I hope that you find today's tutorial useful. And as usual, please remember to like this video and subscribe to this channel if you would like to receive more updates in regards to educational learning technologies from Ideation HQ. Till next time, bye.